hearts alight with giving glow, side by side through highs and lows. Together find a way to show love that only grows. Lee and Betty's guiding star shines on missions near and far, helping hands like we were one till the day is done. Spread love's light through the night, mission 22 in sight, hearts burning bright. Wreaths across the winter snow, each a promise we bestow, honoring those who let us know freedom's seed we sow. In the shadows be the spark, light a fire in the dark. With one voice we'll make our mark, together we'll embark. Through the valleys we unite, every step a gleaming light. With the Johnsons guiding sight, we make the world right.
JJDrones, they take the load, winging it with friends in tow. Life on the screen, you watch the show. Laughs and chatter in the air, nothing to hide, nowhere rare. Live stream fire, join the flare, adventures wild without a care. Tune in live, don't be late. JJDrones, if they communicate. Stories bold, videos great. Join the team, feel the faith. Tech and travel, flying high. Questions answered, never dry. Drones and gadgets touch the sky. All the news, no alibi. Underneath the digital sun, friends and fun, they are the one. Learning's cool with a twist of fun. Hit subscribe, the ride's begun. Tune in live, don't be late. JJDrones, if they communicate. Stories bold, videos great. Join the team, feel the faith. She said media brings the answers. Droning veteran shows disasters. DJ and Gary make us laugh, while the train wreck clears the path. Tune in live, don't be late. JJDrones, if they communicate. Stories bold, videos great. Join the team, feel the faith. Join the team, feel the faith.
I appreciate all of you for coming along for this ride with me, and we'll see you later on down the road.
I'm Karl Marx, and I approve this message.
It's JJDrones Live. Welcome to the train wreck. Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. We've got Christian from Mainlight Drone. We've got my dad, Dave Johnson, my stepmom, Nancy Johnson. TJ's in the chat. We've got Brian, we've got Dan, we've got Gary. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. If you'd like to have one of your videos featured on my website, email me, Jason at JJDrones360.com. And for everything JJDrones related, go to JJDrones360.com. If you're going to be doing some shopping anytime soon, do it on Amazon and use my links, JJDrones360.com/Amazon1. And our Spreadshirt shop is open. Just go to JJDrones.myspreadshop.com. You're going to be helping the channel and the Lee and Betty Johnson Memorial Charity that way as well. And you can donate. JJDrones360.com/donate to the Lee and Betty Johnson Memorial Charity. And we have $1,507.69 in donations. And if you'd like to submit a video for Blinker Flu of the Week, you can now start emailing Dan again, droningveteran@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's going to be a fun show, and we've got a lot of information to get to you guys, considering concerning DJI. But before we do that, let's bring in our co-host for the night. We've got Cheesehead Media. We've got Brian. We've got Dan the Droning Veteran. And we've got Gary from Joe Bait and Tackle.
It's cheesy and chewy.
Oh, it is. But we also have our weekly sponsor of the week, and we can't go without mentioning them. It is Johnson Juice, and you may actually, you might actually be familiar with the person in this commercial.
I've got the cocktail sauce and the Johnson juice mixed in, so what I'm going to do is just swallow drizzle, swallow swizzle, a little bit of that on there. Now we're going to talk about these tuna chunks, tuna kebab. Here's one small piece. Tuna kebabs with Johnson juice and cocktail sauce. It's not bad. It's really good. Talk about good improv. Thank you, Johnson Juice. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Great organization.
Nothing tastes better, all thanks to you.
And thank you, Johnson Juice. And thank you for
Almost as good as Blinker.
almost as good
Not
as the
quite.
blinker fluid.
Not
No,
quite.
no. Yes, Gary.
Well, maybe it's a little bit better.
One comment. And did you say what was the flavor of the week with the blinker fluid?
This is the cheese raviolis flavor.
Very
Look at this.
cheesy.
Look what I
Cheesy
brought to
and
the party. If you ain't got Chef RD, you ain't part of the party. That's right.
Well, it is our cheese ravs version of blinker fluid of the week. Let's go.
Lines, backing up takes them 5 tries. Wrong way down a one-way street. Did you get your license from Love Tweet? Homes are blaring all the week. Still they drive on like a clown. Stop sign means just slow down. Congrats, you've earned our weekly crown. Ooh, too.
And it's blinker fluid of the week. This is the segment everybody's been waiting for all week. And here's number one.
Number one.
Whoa!
Where'd that come from?
Bambi, bye-bye.
We're already going to be pissing off another TV organization later today, so I'm not going to say who that one has come from.
Yes.
Here's number two.
Number two.
And Dan just did a number two in that one.
Almost. I was a little upset because the guy
Just a little
was
bit?
he was like, "Oh yeah, I did it," Unfortunately, if I would have had the robe, I would have got his license plate, and you would know it.
Well, here's number three. They obviously needed to back out before
Yes.
anybody could do anything else.
And in my version tomorrow, there's a bleep word,
Here's number four.
but this is a family-friendly channel, so
It is.
make sure you watch my version.
Now, Dan, that guy on that little reverse tricycle, he didn't look like he was being very safe.
Not really at all.
No.
I mean, just shoot out into the freeway just like that. Granted, I mean, that was the last red light. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, he could have pulled in behind me.
Ooh.
In a hurry to go nowhere. I mean, why? Really?
And here's number 6.
TJ says, Jason, check your phone.
I'm looking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was like, I was trying to get to some potatoes in Idaho, and he tried to cut me off like that. It was very rude. You know, I need my potatoes, so.
Yes, must have potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to start voting number 1 through number 6 in the chat. If you're on Facebook, you can do number 1 through number 6, and if you're on YouTube, you can do number 1 through number 6.
That's a hashtag
or a tic-tac-toe or a number sign.
Number sign. What's a number sign?
I got no idea.
I forgot.
Gary's got the cheese ravs.
Oh, that's the cheesy part, huh?
That's the cheesy part. That's what we put into every bottle of the cheese ravs blinker fluid.
Mm-hmm. And the number is the chewy part. Got you.
That is. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you to Dan and Gary for explaining it all to us. Because, I mean, that's the important part of the show. It really is. Nothing else that I say from here on out makes any sense or has any bearing on anything.
Bye.
Show over.
So we're going to go into our DJI drone ban update. Let's go.
Guys feeling it, but they want it low. Grounding their dreams in a world they don't know. Innovations crushed under the weight of fear and control. Is it too late? Clouds and drones, they're on the run, spewing those lies till the day is done. Clowns and drones up in the air, flying so high they ain't never there.
And we're going on to our DJI drone ban update. Before we do that, I'm going to update the chat. We've got 3 votes right now for number 6. 3 votes for number 6. So, so far so good on that one. And then, so Brian, I really don't know where to start with this because there's so much news that has happened over the last couple of weeks. And the number one thing that I guess we really have to discuss is the DJI Air 3S. And that was going to be a drone that a lot of people wanted, right?
And it is. I mean, if now clarify, as everyone knows, I own an Air 3. There are some neat things about the 3S. There are some things that, for me, it's not worth the upgrade at all. I do like the idea of a 1-inch sensor, but that's probably about it. And from what I can tell from some of the noise stuff that's in there for the deep nighttime photography, yeah, it's a little bit better, but it's not what I do at this time, so it doesn't apply to me. Whereas
right, but a lot of
gotten very interesting is the early review copies.
Yes.
Several of the better known channels did get theirs. Completed their video, went out the same time the DJI launched a product. On the same token, there is a company in Florida. I can't remember their name. Hopefully you have that, Jason. And they didn't get theirs. Theirs is held up in customs. Hold on.
You're talking about the original Dobo on YouTube, and Ken was waiting for his drone to come in, and it was basically held up in customs, and he came out and did a video. And I'm not gonna rip off his stuff, but basically in his video he said, "Look, this isn't a big thing. You know, this is just a big confusion with customs, and you know, this has got nothing to do with the DJI drone ban." But then I was talking to Brian that night, and I said, "Brian, you watch. This is going to come out. This is going to be a Stefanik thing."
Well, what's really odd, so the reason why it's a customs thing for him is that they're citing the Uyghur Act, which means it's just on forced labor. The catch of that is that I only know 3 people that I've found that have had theirs held up in customs, and they're all coming through Florida, the Florida Customs Office. So most things that come through customs, especially from China, if they're being flown in, they actually clear customs in Anchorage, Alaska. Then they go to the either Louisville or Nashville to be distributed by FedEx and UPS. And literally, I don't know why these came in specifically to Florida, but those are the ones doing it. I have not heard or found any evidence of anyone who has ordered one not receiving it. In fact, I believe the guy in Florida actually has one that he ordered as a regular customer. It's only been his review unit that got blocked. What happened is that Stefanik and I don't know who the other moron is down there in Florida, the senator, they're claiming responsibility that it was because of them that this thing got stopped, and they have nothing to do with it. This
so here's the
ban. Yeah, so here got nothing to do with it. But,
so Brian, this is
anything to pile on, I think.
I think he's got his he's now he's froze.
Oh, okay. Am I froze?
Was he talking about Senator Rick Scott by chance?
No.
Yeah, I can't remember which one of the two down there. Which one of the 2 idiots you have down there, Gary?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Molinar and Stefanik.
Brian didn't have his. Go ahead.
Okay, Molinar and Stefanik. Molinar's from Michigan. Stefanik is from New York. We like to call her Queen Stefanik. But the day after that video came out on YouTube from Ken, this came out, and this is a statement from Molinar and Stefanik. It says, yesterday Reuters reported that U.S. Customs and Border Protection halted imports from DJI, a Chinese drone manufacturer, for forced labor tainted products, a violation of the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. Following this news, Chairman John Molinar and Representative Elise Stefanik released this following statement. For years, CCP drone manufacturer DJI has been rightfully blacklisted by the U.S. government for actively aiding the CCP in carrying out surveillance for their genocidal crimes against Uyghur in, however you pronounce that. Now we have discovered that DJI is not only aiding in this genocide, but also forcing Uyghur slave labor to manufacture the very drones used to surveil the human rights abuses, blah, 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 blah. Lie after lie after lie after lie. Why do they have to keep lying? I don't understand it.
Because their previous attempts keep failing. You know,
exactly.
If this was, if everything in this press release was true, why didn't they use that with their drone ban bill? I mean, this is all from. Oh, hey, this is happening. Let's see if we can throw this in here and see if people who aren't paying attention. Oh, that sounds good to me, because low information voters, and
right.
It's kind of pathetic. Because again, if anything that they said, if one of the reasons why they pushed the CCP Drones Act was, hey, there is forced labor with this, and that was part of the initial argument, I wouldn't, not that I wouldn't care, but it would be, okay, this is part of the same narrative. This little press release has absolutely nothing to do with anything that they've announced, talked about, spoken, done anything with until now. So they're just trying to capture something else that's already happened. I mean, it actually what it does is it, for those of us who are following this, it reinforces the idea that they are outright lying to us, because this would have been stated already. They wouldn't have just added it on as an after fact.
Well, they're grasping at straws. Hey, David Fackrell, thank you so much for coming in. And my dad says Kamala will find you. She already knows where I am. No, see, DJI came out with their response. And according to DJI, the company adheres to both U.S. law and international labor and manufacturing standards. That includes adherence to Section 307 of the Tariff Act of 1930, which prohibits importing any product that was created either wholly or in part by forced labor. It also includes adherence to 22 U.S.C. 6901, which specifically applies to products made in China. DJI also holds the ISO 45001 certification, which is worldwide international standard for occupational health and safety. Sure, we haven't verified every minutia of DJI's supply chain, but the company says its top U.S. retailers do conduct rigorous due diligence audits. So, this is, like Brian said, they're basically grasping at straws because they couldn't get their bill passed in the Senate. And now they're just going to keep going and going and going, trying to, get the DJI drone bans put into law. Now, the other thing that was very disturbing this morning, and Brian, I don't know if you saw this, or Dan, I know Gary didn't see this, but I was watching because I heard that Maria Bartiromo, I can't even pronounce her last name, Bartiromo, on Fox News this morning was going to be talking with a senator from Alabama about drones. So I tuned in, and this is from Fox News. This is from Sundays or Mornings with Maria, or whatever it is. I think it's Sunday Morning Futures on Fox News this morning. So let's listen to see what she has to say.
On the Armed Services Committee in the Senate, I've got to ask you about buying drones from China. I understand that the U.S. buys and uses DJI drones in our military.
What? How stupid can you be? I wish I had the clown faces to put on these guys, because that's what they need. Wait a second. All you have to do is do a cursory Google search. You don't have to bring a senator on. Just do a quick Google search. You know what? I did that just to prove my point this morning. Just to prove my point, I did a cursory Google search. Does the U.S. military use DJI drones? No, the U.S. military does not use DJI drones. There's a Pentagon ban. In 2018, the Defense Department banned the use of consumer drones due to national security concerns. The U.S. Army ban in 2017. The U.S. Army prohibited service members from using DJI drones. The Commerce Department in 2020 banned it. And DJI even says that it has never designed or manufactured military-grade equipment, and that it has always opposed the combat use of civilian drones. DJI also says that it has taken steps to discourage the military use of its products.
Well,
I couldn't even go longer than this is like a 2-minute interview with this guy, and yeah. I don't think I've gone longer than 15 seconds into this interview.
So there's actually a little bit of a precedent for what she's saying. Not using DJI, but anything that's GPS related. I believe it was back in 2015, 2016, a forward operating base in Afghanistan in an area where no one knew that one was operating, suddenly showed up in Fitbits because soldiers who were exercising and using the GPS tracking, use either Fitbit or Garmin. And all of a sudden he started seeing all these people, multiple people running laps in a perfect square or rectangle right where this forward operating base was. So if for some reason some soldier decided to purchase a drone on their own to fly around, yeah, there could be a track of it. But again, we already know too that they're not really, none of that data is coming out. So it's
But Brian, look at what the banner says underneath it. It says China-based drone maker.
I'm making a stretch for let's say devil's argument.
Okay.
You know?
Well, let's go on and see if she can redeem herself. We're 14 seconds into this. Can she redeem herself?
So explain this to me, and does that mean that whatever the DJI drones see, China sees as well? Why is our military...
Oh my gosh. We're now 22 seconds in. Whatever the DJI drone sees, Brian, the Chinese government sees.
Well, this is coming from the same business model that if you listen to them, the candidates are buying airtime, in which candidate A is saying candidate B is the absolute worst thing on the planet Earth if you vote for them. The very next commercial, candidate B is saying that candidate A is a spawn of Satan and the absolute worst thing on Earth.
Right.
It's whatever they can need to drive up ratings and people to actually watch their garbage.
But this is something even more, I think this is more diabolical than that. I think this is just because I haven't heard anything of this nature on any sort of news channel. And I think this is Stefanik putting her people out there and saying, hey, we need to start making the public scared that these DJI drones are going out there and our government is buying them, and all of our sensitive information is going back to China because of, and as you hear her say, DJI very slowly and very matter of factly, so that she makes sure that she gets the name of the company out there.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, let's go a little bit more.
Are using drones from China.
Exactly. They call us, we call China our adversary. They're really our competitor. And, this administration, the Biden administration, has been doing everything they possibly could do to pump up the economy of the Chinese people.
This has got nothing. I'm sorry, Mr. Tuberville. I appreciate your help here, but you're dead wrong on that, because this has got nothing to do with the Biden administration. This has got everything to do with Stefanik, Molinar, and the little blue company. Let's keep going.
We're not again. They are our competitor. We need to take care of America. Being in the Senate, every time I have somebody come tell me, Coach, you need to vote for this spending to go to Ukraine or vote for this spending to go to the Middle East, I always say, where's the money going? And I said, if we're spending money on making things in this country, now, Maria, we make drones in 4, 5, 6 states in the United States of America, as good as anybody.
No, not as good as anybody. And the drones you're talking about are military drones that are made in this country. There are no consumer drones that are made in this country that are worth anything. We'll continue.
Why in the hell would we spend any money in China and not spend it here in this country if we're going to build drones? And again, we want to be the deadliest military on the face of the earth, but we keep pushing all this money all over the world. We're going to be we're going to be lucky to be equal to anybody.
Mr. Tuberville, please come on this program, because you're going to get a lot better analysis than you're getting from Maria right there. And you're going to get a lot better information than you're getting from Maria right there, because you have no idea what you're talking about.
Across this world in terms of military.
I understand that, but Senator, I'm coming at it from a national security perspective. Sure, there's a competitive aspect as well. We make drones in Alabama, for God's sakes. Why aren't we doing it and buying those for the military? But when I look at the fact that China is our #1 adversary, they're having this surveillance program on us morning, noon, and night, propaganda coming at us morning, noon, and night, and we buy drones from DJI, which is a Chinese company. Again, whatever those drones see, does that mean China sees it as well?
The answer is no.
What?
No.
Are you serious? You're fooling
The
me.
answer is no.
No way.
Dan, the answer is no.
Oh.
Okay.
What is
But,
their answer? I want to
in the
hear
Army,
their
They
answer.
told me to always say yes.
Oh, okay. Well, say no to this one. Just say no to being on drugs, like these two people.
Exactly. Well, they got all the software. If they put the software in there, it's over. I mean, they're going to get exactly what we get. And again, at the end of the day, Maria, we are going to have to be self-sufficient in this country. We can't. There's a lot of things that we can't do that China can do, but we've propped them up, their economy up. They need to fend for themselves. We need to take care of ourselves and our allies. And again, you're exactly right. Our national security is a threat. And of course, you just saw what happened from the Pentagon or the White House, where we leaked all this information about Israel.
Okay, so he said that
But
China
he's not really answering her question.
No, he's not.
Giving a very generic answer. She's trying to bait him.
Let me back that up just a little. Let me back that up a little bit because I think it skipped a part of it.
Get exactly what we get. And again, at the end of the day,
got to go a little bit more.
Noon and night, propaganda coming at us morning, noon, and night. And we buy drones from DJI, which is a Chinese company. Again, whatever those drones see, does that mean China sees it as well?
Exactly. Well, they got all the software.
Did you hear his answer?
I did.
Exactly.
But, he's just. I don't even think
he doesn't know
what she's talking about. I'll be honest.
But he doesn't. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know, and he's not saying that. He's not admitting it was DJI. I got to give the senator here a little bit of credit. She's trying to bait him into saying that this is this company, and he's not really falling for it. He's like, yeah, I mean, if they got the software, but he doesn't know what kind of drones they're buying or anything. She's trying to bait him into something that's not working.
But why would he say exactly instead of saying, I don't know?
Because he's an elected official, and they will never admit that they don't know. They're all like that.
Hey, Dan, watch this. Watch this, Brian. Hey, Dan.
Huh.
What's the square root of 9,332,835.3?
Yeah, right. What? I don't know.
See? You see how easy that is? Hey, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Gary,
Gary
I have
knows.
a very, very, very easy question for you. How hot is the surface of the sun if we throw 9,833 tons of ice on top of it?
Too hot for cheese raviolis. That's for damn sure.
See, there you go. He doesn't know either. See, Brian, it's not that hard. All you have to say is, I don't know, when you don't know the answer to a question.
Yeah.
Yes, Gary.
In defense of the senator, he was a very good football coach. Apparently, he does not know this time. He knows Spider 2 Y banana. He does not know this information.
Probably one of the worst people to bring on to talk about this topic. I'm sure that he has a lot of knowledge on a lot of different topics. But to bring him on to talk about the drone controversy is, number one, stupid, because number one, we're not purchasing DJI drones from for the U.S. government. In fact, asking if DJI is a Chinese military company, that's false. DJI is not a military company. We remain one of the few drone companies to clearly denounce and actively discourage use of our drones in combat. DJI does not manufacture military-grade equipment, nor does it pursue business opportunities for combat use or operations. So, and like I said, all they would have to do is use Google. Use Google. It shows you every possible way that this is not even a thing happening. But the regular Fox News viewer is not going to go out there and do their own research. They're just going to say, oh, well, I guess we're buying Chinese drones for our U.S. military, and now we got to get up in arms. Am I right?
NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't
But
matter.
that's not happening. That's not happening on the other networks.
Well, not yet.
This is not yet, but this is the first time that I've seen it on any network.
We'll see.
What do you want me to let you in on a little
I mean,
secret?
We'll see what happens once this election season's over, and the new Congress gets is in place in January.
Man,
I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, until then, we can stay in here and complain all we want. It doesn't matter. You know,
I mean,
someone's trying to push a agenda. You can see that this host was has sucked it in, hook, line, and sinker. And to his credit, the senator really didn't fall for it. You know, I mean,
but the fact that he was agreeing with her showed me that he did. Absolutely was his word.
If you watch it, yes, he agreed. I think he agreed with her just to go to the next line of questioning. I really don't think that he agreed with her that he knew. You know, he dodged the question twice, and she reworded it, and it's like, okay, I'm going to agree with you to shut you up.
But that's not.
But he's a politician. I mean, a politician will never admit that they don't know.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes, Dan.
Let me. Do I have any satellites tracking me? Or I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I'm kind of nervous, but the last rotation I did to National Training Center in California or Kamikaze, Florida.
California, yeah.
California, yeah. I had a DJI drone fly over me.
Oh, you did?
Our location. I don't know if it was like, maybe it was one of the OP4 OC's personal drone, but I mean, we was in the middle of the desert. I was like, I wish I brought my drone now. I was mad.
I know that they've used it for research projects in the military, but I don't know of any combat applications that they've used them for.
No, this isn't combat. This is just training. And they had a picture. Watch out for these drones. If you see them, the enemy is using these to surveillance us, and you can shoot them down and all this other, horse monarchy, but whatever.
We're gonna use lasers now.
Now it is lasers. That's all we had was blanks with lasers. Yeah.
Let's. I think there's a little bit more of an interesting story though than just a bunch of people, spread. I mean, we're just repeating ourselves on these idiots spreading lies. The interesting thing that happened in the past week, Jason, was the lawsuit that DJI filed against the DoD.
It's absolutely a very interesting lawsuit, and the reason that it's so interesting, for number one, is the fact that this was actually done by one of the. Didn't she work under Obama or Clinton?
I don't know. I don't know the history of the lawyers involved.
Okay. Well, this was filed against the DoD, and I've actually read through most of this, and it's a very interesting read. So if you're interested, email me and I'll send you the link. It's a fascinating read, and a lot of it in the front part of it what is just basically giving definitions of terms. But let's go here. DJI's UAVs provides critical support to law enforcement, improving officer safety by enabling officers to more readily locate and apprehend criminals. For example, local law enforcement in Saginaw, Michigan used thermal imaging on a DJI UAV to arrest a burglary suspect. And in this context, no reasonable alternative exists to replace DJI drones. Similarly, many first responders providing relief during natural disasters also employ DJI UAVs. And it gives examples. I mean, they don't just put out a lawsuit with a whole bunch of just generalities. They went in and they made very specific claims against the Department of Defense, because what happened was DJI was put on their list of companies that are part of the military in China, and China just wanted an explanation. Hey, why are you putting us on this list? And they waited, I believe it was 13 months, Brian?
Something like that. It was a while, and then they still didn't really ever get an answer.
No.
It's been... What's going to happen is that because of this lawsuit, the government's going to have to give up a lot of their paperwork to lawyers, whether or not all of it will be made public because of redactions, I don't know. But
this is all going to be sealed.
The lawyers are going to, and the judge is going to see this, and through the process of discovery, we're going to see really what happened. And I think
we're not going to see anything. We're not going to see anything. We're not going to see a thing.
We're not going to see it because of redaction. However,
the
judge will. However this gets litigated, it's going to come out through discovery just how twisted and crooked that this has been. Like I said, we may not see it, but it's going to be legally. It has to come out to the people that are litigating this. So it's going to be interesting.
Now, as far as DJI's ownership, it says in the complaint that DJI's ownership and corporate governance structure underscore DJI's independence. They're privately owned and controlled and is not an agent or instrument of any government. Frank Wang and the company's early stage investors together hold 99% of the company's voting rights and approximately 87.4% of its shares. Since at least 2020, their shares and voting rights have only increased. The next largest group of investors comprises of entities in the private sector, which holds 0.4% of the voting rights and 7.2% of the shares. And the last smallest shareholding group with a combined of 0.6% of voting rights and 5.4% of the shares comprises 5 state-owned enterprises in China, 2 state-owned banks, 1 state-owned insurance company, and 2 municipal investment funds. None of the directors of DJI or its parent company, iFlight Technology Company Limited, are a government official, a representative of a government or state-owned entity, or a member of or officer of the Chinese Communist Party. So, and it goes through all of the framework and the background. That's something that you all can read yourself if you if you're so inclined. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of gets into the weeds on how the company is actually put together. But here we go. On October 5th, 2022, the DoD, citing Section 1260H, released a list of entities designated as CMCs operating in the United States. This list included DJI, but provided no rationale for why DJI or any other company was designated. By designating DJI, the government branded DJI as a national security threat, which was widely reported in the media, and it caused significant and ongoing harm to the company. Some customers canceled contracts to purchase DJI products, while many more expressed concern about further business dealings with the company. The designation stigmatized the company and its employees, including the 150 employees residing in the United States. But how is it possible there are employees residing in the United States? Are they all Chinese spies too, Brian?
I mean, no. And I think to even think so, I mean, they're probably all, U.S. I mean, hey, you're a sales rep, for DJI. You're a DJI employee. It doesn't mean that you're communist by any means. That the company hired you. So they're just going. This is all just general, knowledge that they're going out with, and just saying, hey, everything you said about us is wrong. Like I said, once through the process of discovery, the truth is going to come out, and this lawsuit may be the reason why that twit that was on Fox News was questioning the senator, because they want to get ahead of this in the court of public opinion before the facts are known. It doesn't matter what the truth is if the media is not on your side. So I'm it's going to be interesting.
This is a long 56-page complaint with a lot of footnotes. So if you want to go through there and read that, you can. But basically, the government was basically trying to say that DJI was part of the Communist Party because they had this relationship that didn't exist with MIIT. That there were people that were working for the company that had a very common name, and they were able to debunk the common name people very, very easily. So
your own name, Smith?
Basically they were using the equivalent of John Smith in China. There were a lot of, and they even showed that, there were, if you did a basic Google search for some of these patents that were claimed to be owned by these people, you could do a search and there'd be thousands upon thousands of these patents to all these different people that all have the same name. So, there's the reasoning is by the Department of Defense is laughable on its face. And I guess when it goes to court, we're going to find out one way or another. We won't see what the government puts up as evidence. But I do think that this is a huge step forward for DJI. And the reason I say that is the same reason that Brian said when the DOD goes to court, they're going to, if this goes to trial, they're going to want to have discovery as well. And they're going to want all of this information from DJI. And if DJI had anything to hide, they wouldn't be filing a lawsuit. But that is your update on the DJI saga. And we will continue to, follow this story as far as it'll go. Hopefully, I think... in the end, in my opinion, I think DJI wins this lawsuit only on the basis of the facts. But in the court of public opinion, they're going to try and smear them as much as they possibly can. They're going to use all of the backdoors that they possibly can. They're going to keep using customs. They're going to keep trying to keep other people from getting the drones because the little blue company doesn't want to get their feelings hurt, and they don't want to lose any money to DJI, even though they don't make any consumer drones to begin with. So, Brian and anybody else want to give their last word on this before we move on?
We've spent too much time giving the morons in Washington credit on this.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to go and we're going to talk a little bit about winter driving because winter is coming. And we found, well, it was actually Brian that said it, and he wrote my script, so.
Well, if I knew this, I would have actually brought in a couple of props.
Oh, well. We have 14 essentials for your car's winter survival kit. And it's very important, especially if you're in the northern part of this country. Gary, you don't get any snow down there at all.
Well, he needs mud chains.
Well, yeah.
Chains work in mud too.
So here is from Car and Driver, it says 14 essentials for your car's winter survival kit. And I think a lot of these are very interesting and very useful things that you could use, like the Stone Point LED lighting emergency lights. Use these instead of flares. And I don't know if any of you have seen these on the side of the road when people have been broke down, but these things are freaking bright. They've got a 20-hour runtime on steady mode and 60-hour runtime on flash mode. I don't know how bright they are. Let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't say how bright they are, and I'm sure that you could check it out on Amazon, but I know that I've seen them on the road, and they're probably about as bright as a Lume Cube, where you can go 3 statute miles. But I think everybody should have something like this, whether it's for the winter driving or not. The medic kit, just have a basic first aid kit, and if you want to see a good basic first aid kit, go back and watch Gary's video that he did with his first aid kit, because it pretty much encompassed everything that you should probably have in your car. This is definitely a need for wintertime, is having a portable power pack that you can use to jumpstart your car in the wintertime. It is this one is good enough where you can actually jumpstart a diesel motor. So this would be something that would actually work for somebody like me. Actually, no, it wouldn't, because it only does a diesel motor up to 5.5 liters, and mine's a 6.2. But basically, most people with their personal cars would be able to jump their car with that. The ACR personal locator beacon. This is one question that I will ask the rest of the panel here. Do you think a locator beacon would be necessary?
Yes.
I think it depends upon where your winter driving is. You know, I'm between 2 very large metropolitan cities in a metropolitan corridor. So for, you know, my daily to and from, probably not. Maybe in the north woods of Wisconsin, definitely. Out by Dan, when you're driving through some of those mountain passes and through stuff, most definitely. You know, there is nothing across Wyoming. I mean, between Evansville and Green River, if something happens to you, you're pretty much SOL out there. So I think this one's more of a depends.
Okay.
I'm just curious, how does that tracker, I mean, on cell service or?
It actually works on satellite, I believe. If you get stranded on a lonely road far from cell service, this is something that you want. An SOS signal is broadcasted to search and rescue satellites worldwide via the 406 millihertz frequency to help rescuers locate you. So,
I mean, if it's, you know, satellite, yeah, then maybe I could see it.
It's $416 for that one.
Ouch.
So that's a little bit steep on the price. So if you're going to buy it, you really need. I don't think
it's necessarily necessary, but if you, depending on where you're driving, you know, if you're going up in the mountains or whatnot, there's no cell service, so you know, you get stranded. It's a good deal.
Hey, Gary's got a question.
Yes, Gary.
Okay, well, a couple comments, basically. Okay, so that personal, I've done some research on this. I'm not going to consider myself a rocket scientist on this topic, but personal locator beacon and a EPIRB device, they will transmit wherever you're located for the most part, unless you're like way deep in a cave or something like that. So I value my life more than $416. So I'm telling you that those EPIRBs and a personal locator beacon are well worth the money. You do any research and you talk to people that were hiking and broke their leg or like really bad situations on a hiking trail or something like that, where a tree fell on them, they had to cut their own arm off or something like that. I'm telling you, those devices are very, very useful. Not every situation is going to be the same. Like we're talking about being snowed in on a highway or something like that, but not every situation's the same. So there could be a situation where it may not be wise, but you have to evacuate your vehicle. Could be due to a fire or something like that. Those PLBs are very, very valuable. It's been proven over and over again.
Okay, well, there you go. So if you have the money to spend on it, Gary highly recommends it.
Yes.
So here's a roadside emergency kit. It's got basic tools, pair of gloves, looks like a rape whistle for Dan, jumper cables, a shovel. I mean, you should probably have a shovel in your car regardless. But it's basically got everything that you're going to need if you're ever in a spot, like a tow strap, extra fuses. So I really would highly recommend this roadside emergency kit, because there's just so many things in here. And the price on Amazon right now on that kit is $41.99. So that's a really good kit for $41.99. This right here, especially in the wintertime, is something that I might actually purchase myself, because of where I live. And they're not really expensive. They're only $52.85 on Amazon right now. But if you run into a situation where you lose traction and you're basically stuck, these things work great. I've actually seen a YouTuber that drove to the UP from Florida, and they were out in a really sandy area. And because of the area that they were in, they were losing traction all the time. And they had a set of these. They were different because instead of rolling up, they just stayed flat. And every time that they got stuck, these things bailed them out every single time. So I think these devices are fantastic. These roll up and go in that little carry-on bag. And for $52, I think that's fantastic. Anybody else agree?
I like those. I mean, I've never used them, but a lot of the ones that I see mostly they don't roll up. So I like the idea of them rolling up, more compact. But
Absolutely.
I see a lot of vehicles with them up on like a roof rack or something. So.
Yeah.
I would love to have something like that with all my journeys I go on. And the sand you're talking about is most likely, they call it sugar sand. It's very, very soft, very fine. And it's I hate to even describe it as like a quicksand, but you can sink quickly and rapidly.
And then we've got a heated blanket. Obviously, in your car, you're going to want a heated blanket if you're going to go on a long trip, because you never know what's going to happen, especially if you're in below zero temperatures. These hand warmers are fantastic. If you live up north and you don't already have a snow brush and a scraper, what are you doing with your life? And then
what's a snow brush scraper?
That's one of those things that Dan should probably get for Christmas this year.
Santa? Where's Santa?
I have a question for Dan. Question for Dan, please.
Who's Dan?
Don't even better. All you need is a credit card, right? Just scrape that stuff off, right?
Exactly.
There you go. We save your money.
And then
every time you swipe, it puts a charge on your account.
Right. I never thought about this, but plastic bottled waters have the nasty habit of quickly freezing solid, while juice boxes tend to become more slushy. This can be crucial in an emergency where you might not have time to completely thaw a drink. Getting a pack of these little juice boxes could basically save you in a pinch if you needed something to drink. And then you got Captain Dave's Meals Ready to Eat, the MREs, and those are I think they said, oh yeah, shelf life of 5 years on those. So
Only 5?
just those only have 5 years.
Yeah.
And this is a power
I had
practical
MREs at the
rechargeable.
game, and I had MREs in the game that I was playing expired 25 years before I ate it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I
Maybe
think
it
if
wasn't
you're,
quite 25, but it was like over 20.
if you're waiting for 5 years to get help, you got a problem.
That's true. Well, I've been waiting 46 years to get help. And it's still not coming. But anyways, so that is our tips for keeping yourself safe this winter. And obviously, we did a lot of talking on the DJI saga, and that I do believe that saga is going to keep going on. But we do have a winner for our blinker fluid of the week, the Cheese Ravs version.
Cheesy.
Dan,
cheesy.
who is the winner of this week's blinker fluid of the week?
By unanimous decision, it is number 6.
Number 6. Number 6, congratulations. You're our winner of this week's Blinker Fluid of the Week Awards. And you picked the right week because I love cheese wraps. Just absolutely love them.
Very cheesy.
So,
cheesy and chewy.
So we have come to the conclusion of this week's show. We're going to start with Gary and work our way up to Brian to close out the program.
Hashtag find a way to serve.
Be safe out there. Don't do anything stupid. Or at least nothing that I would do.
I have read that our 2 leading candidates for president combined are going to spend over $1 billion convincing you that they're the right person. What if half that money, 75% of that, went to the folks who needed it after the hurricanes in Florida and Appalachia? Something to think about when you go into that voting booth.
So you don't think $750 a person is a good idea? Just asking for a friend.
Just throwing it out there. It's mind-numbing how much money is being spent on this election by not only them but all the Congress critters, that are up for election, whether it be the House or the third of the Senate. And I'm just realizing that, at least in where I live here in Wisconsin, we are one of the battleground states. If I turn on the evening news, all 5 commercials between sports, weather and sports are political ads, and there's so many more people that need the help than who owns the media companies.
Yes. And I just want to say that pretty soon, November 5th is right around the corner. Just make sure that if you haven't voted yet, go out there and vote, make your voice heard. I don't care who you vote for. Just vote for me. Write me in, and I will be the perfect president of the United States. Not really.
Well, I care if you vote for Queen Stefanik. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, don't. I voted already. I wasn't able to support any of the incumbents that were running this year because they're all a bunch of morons. So thank you guys for letting me down time and time again, especially with this drone ban crap. So if you're going to try and ban something that you have zero knowledge of, don't even come to me and ask me for your vote because you're not going to get it. Just try and be a person that is knowledgeable on the topics that you're voting on, and don't go in blindly. So just do a little bit of research at least and go out there and vote and let your voice be heard, because that's how this republic remains to be a republic, not a democracy. But anyways, now that I'm off that soapbox, I thank you all for coming along for this ride with us, and we'll see you later on down the road.